Hello and welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a magma tower. What's a magma tower? It's a tower that produces lava. This is using the thermal expansion 2.0 that just came out recently. This does unfortunately include the nerf to Netherrack, which makes it more expensive to convert into lava. However, this is still a very valid way of generating infinite lava, assuming you can use Netherrack, and it doesn't require an external power source. It powers itself. So as you can see, I have tons and tons of lava here, and I'm going to show you how we got it. And actually, it wasn't those guys that got it. It was the predecessors of those guys, these guys, which are terribly designed. But yeah, this is how I first started out. Much better. So anyways, getting on with it, I have two designs. One is a lot more clean than the other. As you can see, this one is a simple 3x3 square. Maybe you can't see it so easy, but it's a 3x3 square. And then I have this guy, and this guy is actually a little more complex than needed. These here are red power engines and tanks to power the system up, and I'm leaving them here for training purposes, but those don't actually need to be here. But the this design over here doesn't use the thermal expansion energy conduits, which are right there, and it doesn't use the liquid ducts. It instead opts to use golden waterproof tubes and golden conductive pipes and wooden conductive pipes from BuildCraft, just in case some people don't want to use red power or thermal expansions equipment. This is a design that works with BuildCraft stuff. So anyways, let's get started. I'm going to show you guys how to build these things. And I've already started over here for the sake of speed and convenience with a basic design. This is that design over there, the smaller compact 9x9, or 3x3, sorry. So 3x3, very small profile, only takes some 9 area, and then it's as tall as you need it to be. Now, as you'll notice here, and as you might have seen over there, I have magmatic engines on the bottom, crucibles on the top. Now this is actually a horrible ratio. As you can see over here, there's actually 15, if you want to count it, to 7, or 15 to 2 ratio between the engines and crucibles. And that is because it takes 15 engines at 4 MJ a tick to power the new crucibles, which have a cap of 30 MJ a tick. That's the nice new concession they've made since they nerfed the Netherrack, was to give it a higher power rate it can consume. So 15 times 4 is 60, which is as much as 2 crucibles consume. So that's the ratio you want to use. However, as you might have saw, power loss is an issue, and I'll cover that in a bit. But yeah, so this is basically the design. What you have here is you put your magma crucible engines on the bottom and you put them in a nice little circle or square, and you plug them into an energy conduit, redstone energy conduit from thermal expansion, and you might notice it's orange. This is very important. If I right click it, now it's green, now it's or blue, now it's orange. This is important because if you look at the red little arrow, kind of, you'll see that it faces in towards the center and then out of it. When it's facing out in blue, that means it's putting power into whatever it's connected to. When it's facing in orange, it means it's drawing power. This is very important. If it's blue, it will not take in power from the engines no matter what. So you need to make sure on every single level that you place this, because it's default blue when you place it, that you make sure you flip it that you have the engines connected to. I learned this the hard way, that could be a very big problem. Now, as for the next level, you just place the conduits down. It's already blue, and this is to power the engines. Now, in this setup, I'm using the liquid conduits from thermal expansion and red power tubes, in addition to the thermal expansion energy conduits. The liquid ducts from thermal expansion are very nice. They're basically like BuildCraft's waterproof golden pipes, but a little bit smarter and a little bit faster, which is huge for me. I really like how much faster they are. It really helps the delay in the network. So yeah, this is actually just extremely simple. As you can see here, I have the orange sides of the device, which output the liquid, facing these pipes, and then I have the blue sides facing this pneumatic tube here, and basically it's just a mirror across the diagonal line of itself. and this will give every device items as well as give the lava evenly between all of the engines. So basically, once these produce lava, it outputs it into these liquid ducts, and it will go down the stack, as you can see over there. And what I have up here on the other one is I use a filter. And I use a filter for a couple of reasons, but mostly it's just because I want to have a very conservative CPU issue. Basically, if you have a lot of items floating around in tubes, it can lag your computer out a little bit. So what I do is I use a filter, and up there I have it with 8 netherrack in it, but I'm just going to put 1 in it for now. And basically what it means is every time this gets a redstone pulse, this is also from Red Power, by the way, every time this gets a redstone pulse, it will put out 8 netherrack, or in this case 1 netherrack, into the system. And the reason why I chose 8 up there is because I have 8 of those magma crucibles, when you count 2 per side and 4 sides, and they go, and then I set the timer, which again, yet another Red Power item. I really like Red Power. When I set the timer up, I set the timer to 20 seconds, and at 20 seconds, that's exactly how much time it would take magma crucibles with 30 MJ a tick to go through their first netherrack. And that's very simple math, just 12,000 divided by the MJT and times seconds and all that fun jazz. Don't need to do the math here for you guys, I don't think. I think you can trust me. And so if we just set a chest up on here, put a chest up here, put the netherrack in, it'll draw out 1 netherrack, or in that case 8 netherrack, every time the clock cycles through, and the engines will keep up with the production for this, and basically the system will never have excess packets floating in it, and that's a good thing. Now for the bottom of them, I'm just going to cut over to here, ignore the golden pipe because that's from the other one. For the bottom of them, what I do is I pull in the line from here and I just drag it over, pull in the line from here, put it over, and then I run it out to my tank. You could make this cleaner by pulling it in towards the center. It doesn't really matter. Now, this is the nice, simple, easy design. This is really all you need, and as you can see up here, I have the exact same design, but I'm using a ender chest, which is hooked up to a nether farm, which is running a quarry to get netherrack, and a chunk loader up top to keep everything in this area loaded when I'm gone. So yeah, very, very simple design. Now over here is the more complicated design, but I also have it set up so I can show you how I start these things. These things take an enormous amount of lava to start a full stack like this. This is 60 engines running right here. I have 60 engines running, and 60 engines all need a bucket of lava basically if you want to get it to start and get the system running. So that's 60 buckets of lava that you need to feed into the system to get them to start. So what I have up here is to show you how I basically usually do this. Is I put big tall tanks on them, and then I put redstone engines. In those cases I just use the liquid ducts, which are really easy to do. And I pump the liquid out of the tanks into the system from the top. It feeds down to the bottom, and it basically pre-charges the engines. So this way you can get your engines to start, because this is going to take quite a bit of power before it starts producing lava. 12,000 MJ per set of magma crucibles. So yeah, now onto the actual design of the BuildCraft ones. Let's break down these real quick. Okay, welcome back. Now that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Break my footholds that I had. Voila. That looks a little bit better now, doesn't it? So this is a BuildCraft setup, and this is for those who don't want to use the other setup. Now this setup is pretty interesting. Basically, as you can see down there, there's a lot of stuff going on. So let me break it down for you. Bam, bam. Just break a little bit of space here. So how I start off is I put a golden tube. Voila. Now I need wooden tubes. Whoops, didn't get them onto the bar. And I put wooden tubes like this. Now, the reason why I have to do it like that is because in BuildCraft power systems, I can't power a golden pipe directly, which is basically what I get away with there. And wooden pipes don't link to each other, so I can't just make a column of wooden pipes because it wouldn't actually pass power. So what I have to do is I have to use a central column of this gold connective tube, and then I basically put the wooden ones on the outside of it. And this works out alright. It's not optimal for certain. It takes up a little bit more space per engines, but it works out. And for those of us who don't like the BuildCraft stuff, I can certainly understand, or don't like the thermal expansion, energy conduits, and such for their cost, I can certainly understand why you might want to use this system. So this system works very similar to the other one. Once you get all this stuff, you just put magmatic engines around, voila. And whoops, don't need that there. And so as you can see already, this is actually much more engines, and if you had noticed up here, I actually have 12 magma crucibles because it's a lot more engines. Even though it's only 15 high, I actually have 6 sets of engines, so I need more magma crucibles to compensate. So this is the basic engine setup. Now, because we're running with BuildCraft's pipe systems, this is a bit bulkier, so it doesn't work out quite as clean as the other way. So, for instance, we're going to go like this, and while this design over here scales up perfectly, this design I'm going to make too tall because it doesn't actually scale up perfectly. If we didn't have it too tall, we could actually just run the lava right out this bottom pipe, but because we have it too tall, we actually can't do that. So what we end up having to do is we have to make it up another level. So that's one of the problems with this design, is it's a little bit more bulky because of that. If it was only one of these magma crucibles, we could just run it out the bottom into that and we would be fine. But because we have to do this, we have to route it like this. So it's a little bit annoying, but not that bad. So now if you notice how I'm placing them, I know which way the lava port's going to face, so I'm just facing them so that I don't have to reconfigure the ports manually or use the wrench. Now, the good thing about thermal expansion stuff is that you do not have to use wooden pipes to get lava out of a piece. We can just use the golden waterproof pipes right off the bat, which is convenient because wooden pipes have a smaller amount of liquid they can hold. So here we are. This is how I run my piping. And so I run it on the sides of the engines and like that. So it comes down, goes raining down on both sides of the engines. That means all of these 3 engines are powered. And then if I do the same on the other side, means all 6 engines will be powered. Whoops. But if you're paying attention, you might notice that that doesn't make use of this one's and that one's lava. And so to make use of those lava, we just put a pipe here, and I want to run a pipe like this. This is completely unnecessary, but that's how I like it because I think it makes it look a little more neat. It's completely unnecessary though. You can completely scrape this pipe and you'll be completely fine. I included it over here just because I thought I liked how it looked, but it's a completely unnecessary pipe. As you can see with this design, all the engines are already powered. And now for how we get the items into it, I'm going to stack it up again a second level because I just want to show you how it looks. Whoops. Faced it the wrong way. So voila. Oh, I didn't connect this one. Haha. There we go. So, sorry I'm building this one on camera. I should have probably built it off camera, but I wanted to show you guys how it was built, because this one's a fair bit more complicated than the other design. So we'll just build that up, and then build that up, and voila. So as you can see, it's a very layered design. You basically just build the exact same thing up vertically over and over again to extend this design. And then you just need to put another golden conductive pipe in here, and voila. So now this handles the power and the liquid distribution of this. Now how we get our items to it is very simple. We're just going to use golden tubes, and I'm going to need more. Whoops, not those ones, those ones. And so just like the other one, we just run the pipes on the outsides that we're not pulling the lava from. So voila, and then just run it up. And I'm only running it up this high just so that we can kind of walk under it. But it's completely unnecessary to run it this high. And actually, I'm not going to run it this high because I want to show you how I actually set it up, which was I basically just stick a redstone engine right on top of here. And then you can, oddly enough, place torches on these machines, and that will power it. And I need to replace this with a wooden pipe. Voila. Okay, there we go. And then we just stick a chest, which I don't have a chest. Why do I never have chests when I need them? Chests. There we go. So stick a chest up here and get some netherrack to throw in. And with this one, I'll show you up by here. Using BuildCraft pipes, there's no good way to prevent items from always being flying around. So as you can see, there's tons of items flying around in this system, none in this. Just an inherent weakness of the design of the pipes. So as you can see, I have a redstone engine right there. Now what you can do is use the trick I use to limit redstone engines to being blue only that I showed in my forestry video. But that would require extending this design up one block. And it's not really worth it to just slow down how many items are going to be in the thing. But yeah, so this will just distribute the items to all of the magma crucibles. All the lava gets pulled out and set down, and it all pumps out nice and neat into the magma tank over here. Now, for those of you curious about the production, basically this consumes 8 netherrack per 20 seconds. And the efficiency, as I've done the math for, and I have a Google spread document with all of the fun math, the efficiency of netherrack to lava gained is about 3 netherrack for every lava gained. It isn't exact, but it's pretty close. So basically, every 20 seconds we're gaining about 3 lava. About. So it basically comes into about 9 buckets a minute. Not quite exact, but that would be the optimal. Unfortunately, we get even less than that because these machines aren't 100% powered. Now, we could simply at the bottom add another level of magmatic engines and fix the power. One more set of magmatic engines should power it up completely to max. But I left it like this so I could show you the math of the fact that it should add up, but it doesn't. So yeah, and I'm actually been really disappointed with how little power savings you get. Both of these setups are perfectly powered for the amount of crucibles they have in theory, but energy loss means that they don't have it. But this was only about 0.4 MJs over that one, despite the fact that that one's even a little bit taller, so it's actually losing even more energy. And there's not actually much savings over here. So using these redstone energy conduits doesn't actually save nearly as much energy as I thought it would. And considering it takes molten redstone, hardened glass, which takes pulverized obsidian and lead, as well as electrium, which takes gold and silver, I believe, or gold and iron, I think. What does it take? Oh, now I feel bad because I didn't know it off the top of my head. Gold and silver. Okay, I was right. So it takes gold and silver to make electrium. And yeah, so it's actually pretty expensive to make those conduits. And it's actually extremely cheap to make electric or golden conduits. It's just a golden transport pipe, which is just gold and glass with some redstone. So while the material is similar, this one actually has a much higher cost per thing, and its cost savings isn't very good. But yeah, it comes up with a more compact design, but I just wanted to show off the designs for you guys. Now, I want to also show off a little bit of something else. And that's for people who are interested in how I'm getting all of this netherrack. Well, it's coming from a single quarry, and that quarry is powered in the nether by this setup over here. This is an extremely compact and somewhat clever, in my opinion, setup to basically take lava extra from the tank, and there's a liquid transposer down here, and it's just filling up these empty cans. As you see, if I put a can over here, it'll pull the cans out and it will fill them up, and it will put them into this chest, and this chest is connected to two chests in the end, or in the nether, not the end, and I'll go show you those. Put my tree up, or my portal up in the tree, so that I would be able to get there faster to the surface of the nether, because I wanted to put my farm up at the highest point I could. And voila. Over here we have another setup with ender chests, and basically this is the one where the full lava will come in, and then in here, anytime, basically this puts it into these liquid transposers, and anytime it's not full, it will consume one of those cans and output it into this one over here. Very small, compact setup, and the reason why we're using liquid transposers is because we have a magmatic engine powering this quarry over here. I found that this magmatic engine powering this quarry alone is good enough to power up 2 of my magma towers, both the ones you saw in the overworld. And it's just hooked up to a standard ender chest, and it's got a little diamond pipe above it, just putting netherrack in there, everything else into a void pipe. So yeah, very, very simple setup. Now I want to show you one more thing back in the overworld, and that's in regards to the engine to power it. In the nether, we're powering the quarry and the liquid transposer with a magmatic engine, so since it has the quarry to power, it's never going to explode or overheat. Over here, however, it's only powering a liquid transposer that's only used extremely rarely. So as you can see here, I have it set to high redstone control, which means only when it receives a signal does it work. And basically I have a little timer here that's just pulsating, and it's just giving it a tiny little amount of power every time. So see, 4 ticks, or 4 MJ a tick, and it comes in like every 2 seconds. And this is more than enough to keep up with the power it needs, but even if it is full, this will never overheat and build up too much power. So nice little system to make it compact. And I'm just feeding it lava. This is a liquid duct. When you click it with a wrench, it goes from fill to extract mode, and a redstone torch powers it to tell it to extract. Basically like a wooden pipe, but without a big motor needed. Very useful. So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed this video. I know it's a little long, but hopefully you'll be able to easily build these setups if you want. They produce a decent amount of lava, 9 buckets, and this one will produce, or not 9 buckets, it should produce about 9 buckets, but it's actually about 7, and this one should produce about 10 to 11 buckets. They are pretty high resource cost to build these big of towers, lots of resources needed for the engines. But considering that this will produce lava as long as you feed it netherrack forever and ever and ever and ever, I think it's a pretty safe trade. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day.